What is good, my brothers and sisters, my manatees, my fellow sea creatures? Brother, I gotta be honest with you. This is my second time filming this video. I literally just did this whole video, this whole recap, 20 minutes ago. I felt good, I look cute. I did the whole thing. I'm walking back to my house, feeling all good. And, you know, I get home, open up my laptop, get everything exported, start click-clacking away for the YouTubes, getting it uploaded. And I deleted the footage. The whole thing. 26 minutes. Gone. So, felt a little dumb. Felt like a buffoon. And I thought, you know what? That's all right, just leave it. And then I realized Mama ain't raised no quitters. My mother, Michelle, she ain't raised a quitter. So now I'm back. Number 2, we're doing a recap because tomorrow is a very big day. June 12th, 2024. Huge day. Huge. Why, you might ask? Tomorrow is the start of my newest YouTube series. This series will cover my trip that I took in January of 2024, going to Sierra Leone as well as into Liberia and walking back 180 miles on foot for the 3rd ever Walk for a Child event. If you don't know what Walk for a Child is, you in for a treat, because over the next 8 weeks, starting tomorrow, every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time and Sunday, 10 a.m. Central Time, I will be releasing a full-length YouTube video for the course of 8 weeks. This new YouTube series is going to go over the beginning all the way to the end of the entire trip. It will cover leaving the US, getting into Sierra Leone, going into Liberia, the start of the Walk for a Child event, walking 180 miles on foot, crossing borders, and then finishing out the time I had in Sierra Leone with a fishing trip and some other fun stuff. So I'm super excited for that. And yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these recaps. The last video, you know, that I just deleted, I did a little recap of, you know, the year. And when I really think about it, it's like January, I was in Sierra Leone and Liberia doing the Walk for a Child event and vlogging the entire experience. February, I got back and I finished a 4-track EP. I produced the 4th and final track of that EP in February. March, I got all of the content ready to use on social media to promote the EP. April, I released my EP, and then I also spent the entire month of April editing all the footage from Sierra Leone, probably 15, 20, 25 hours worth of footage into 15 full-length videos. And I think I was editing 20 something days out of the whole month for like a couple hours, like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a day. So April was a grind. And then May, I performed. I had an opportunity to play my biggest show yet for my MNATEE Music project. I got to showcase my EP. And now it's June. So, yeah, man, this year has been flying, but it's been crazy. It's been good. It's been crazy. There's a period of time I hit in like March, April, and May where I really felt, I don't know, like in a bad spot mentally. I felt very disconnected from my work, from my friends, from my people around me. Yeah, I felt in a rough mental spot. There's an artist I follow online by the name of Seth David, and he said something recently where he's like, I've been going through a tough time mentally, but I realized that my brain is just doing a software update. And I'm like, I like that perspective of like doing an update, you know, the brain is just, you know, rebooting and getting to a new stage. But I think all of us in our own ways can, you know, sometimes we vibing, sometimes we ain't. And that's just the way it is. You find your way. Somehow, some way, we all do. We all continue to survive and thrive. So, but anyways, I'm going to try to keep this video shorter than the last one and kind of just, you know, take this time. I'm going to upload this video as soon as I'm done. I ain't going to delete the footage this time. I pray to the Lord. So let's get started with what's happening tomorrow. Like I said, the new series is releasing 2 videos a week for the next 8 weeks. With that, there's going to be short form content on my Instagram and TikTok that's going to pair with each of the videos. On the day that the video releases, I'll probably post photos from that episode, and then 1 to 2 reels that will accompany that long form video to kind of give some short form context and hopefully maybe even drive some traffic to that long form video. And I kind of like that I'm doing 2 a week because it kind of forces me to not drag things out and kind of be in a little bit of a time crunch where it's like, you know, from Wednesday to Sunday, I have 3 days to post a video or 2 to showcase that episode. Then Sunday, I have 2 to 3 days to do the exact same thing, and we just keep going. And by the end of July, the series is done and I can just move on to the next thing. I'll feel closure and I'll feel good on it. In the last video, which I'm going to talk about then in this one, is the idea of defining success for a series on YouTube. I've done a handful of them now from all my different travels. And obviously the big thing with social media and stuff is analytics, subscribers, views, things like that, monetary value, all that stuff. And that's obviously a metric of success, especially within running a media company. But the big thing that I'm noticing this time within myself and within my own business is that I have a system in place. And having that system to me is like, that already, I'm like, all right, I'm defining this project, this series as a success. Because when I did the India series from my trip in 2022, I was posting content from India for like a year plus. And it's like, that is not sustainable. I don't know, it was very sporadic. There wasn't a lot of organization. There wasn't any strategy to it. So again, who knows? Maybe this whole series flops, or maybe it does super, super well and brings me a bunch of new subscribers and things like that. I don't know. But either way, I have a structure in place on how I edit my videos, how I finalize my videos. I do my thumbnails, I do my descriptions, how I organize everything. I have systems in place that now are going to allow me to, in the future, there's a big old plane, brother. I have systems in place now that are going to allow me, as I edit through more content I have, and then more so once I start with new content, filming new content, I can start to build that consistency and get more on track of like releasing every week with new content. So either way, I'm happy. I'm excited for the series to release. I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's going to do a really good job of telling the story not only of my travels, but my program Walk for a Child, and it's going to tell the story of the community that I'm building with Walk for a Child and in Sierra Leone. So I'm super excited. I think it's my best work yet as a storyteller and as a videographer, using my GoPro, using my drone, using different styles of editing and effects, and kind of incorporating different passions and creative outlets all together in a single storyline. So yeah, I don't know, I'm a nerd with all this stuff, so I could go on and on about just, you know, the how do I describe it? I don't know, just like my thought process behind the creative process, explain the creative process. But again, that's a thing with being creative, is sometimes it's just like too much and it doesn't really make sense. But all I can tell you, watch the series every Wednesday, every Sunday. You're going to see a new video. If you follow along through the whole way, you're going to have a good time, and you're going to probably come back for more. You're probably going to hit that subscribe button, I hope. So either way, I'm excited for that. Additionally, I wanted to provide an update on my music project, because the last check-in that I did was sometime in February, right before I was playing a small show that night. Since that time, like I said, I released my EP. I finished my EP. I released it. Got a lot of good feedback on it. It felt good to kind of get finished. And then I had an opportunity to perform that EP and play my biggest show yet. There's a music collective I work with in southern Minnesota called Akasha Savita. Big fans of Akasha Savita. The founder, Mike, him and I just have very similar visions for using music as a avenue to build community and create really cool, unique experiences for the community that builds. So I'm very grateful to have a platform, have a community, and have a space that supports me and gives me those opportunities to perform and showcase my art. And yeah, so I played that show on May 24th, I think it was. May 24th is when I played my show. And then after that, I took myself on a trip, just a camping trip for the weekend, spent it by myself, which was super nice. It was nice to actually solo travel for the first time in like a year or two. So that was a really good reminder to be like, man, I really enjoy solo traveling. And after having such a cool, high energy experience of performing, it was nice then to just be by myself out in nature, doing everything and anything that I love, and only having to think and, you know, take care of myself that weekend. So that was super fun, had a great time. So that brings you to, okay, what's next for MNATEE Music? Well, I haven't mentioned anything really on social media. I will in the next, you know, week or so once I get things in place, but I am throwing a pop-up event in New York City, which is super exciting. It doesn't really seem real yet, but it is going to be real. I'm working with my best friend by the name of Carlene. She is just incredible. She's a shuffler, she's a creative, she's a dancer, she's a runner, she's a track star. She's one of my best friends from college. We've traveled a bunch together, both in the country and internationally. And she always talked about going out to New York and dancing and being part of the dance community out there, and she has literally done just that. It's really impressive to see the community that she's built for herself, and she's just like thriving out there. So I hit her up, and her and I have talked about doing collaborative events in the past, and I said, okay, I'm gonna come out and visit you around the 4th of July, because, you know, I got some time off of work. It kind of lines up well, and let's do this. Like, let's throw an event. Let's not have any big expectations or any expectations at all, but you get me connected to, you know, DJs that you know, artists that you know, creatives that you know in New York City. Get me in touch with someone that we can figure out equipment and stuff like that, a videographer to film the event, and let's take an afternoon and let's throw a MNATEE and Friends pop-up event. People can come and dance, people can come and listen to music, people can come and play music, and people can just spend an afternoon in a park, wherever we decide the location is, to have fun, dance, and just enjoy the community of being together and sharing in that experience. So that's coming in the beginning of July, and there'll be more details on my social media, Instagram and stuff about that, as well as, you know, the whole event. I'm gonna vlog and film, so I'll have a video for that on my YouTube, which will be super exciting. And then additionally with that, new music. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really produced since I finished the last track for my EP in like March-ish. Which is okay, because I took the break to work on MNATEE Media and then prepare for my show, and now it's June. But once I get back into the groove of working on new music, I'm going into it with no expectations, no real set goal or agenda, but to just get back into that creative flow and start stepping into the realm of creating more original music, doing edits, creating remixes, and then getting a bunch of, you know, new music content built, and then using the skills I've built with MNATEE Media and content creation to then showcase that content and promote it on my social media, to then kind of get a gauge for, you know, what do people like, what do people not like, how can we continue building and expanding that project, you know, and just see where it takes us. You know, it's a very exciting time. A lot of things are, I feel like, moving, and there's a lot of energy around things, which feels good. And it's summertime. It's beautiful out here. It's like 6 p.m. right now. It's 80 degrees out. It's summer. Everything is alive and green all around us. It's a wonderful time to be here, to be alive, to be having fun. So yeah, I'm excited for what's to come for MNATEE Music. There's a lot of cool stuff in the works. And once, you know, the event is done in New York City, I'm excited to just take some time to work on music and kind of dive deep back into that, and come into the fall with a bunch of new content, and, you know, get some more shows and see what happens. So there's 2 more things I want to talk about before I wrap it up. One is my full-time job, my work. You know, it's a big part of my life. I spend 45 hours a week in an office working. It consumes, I would say, primarily most of my life, aside from, you know, sleeping and working on these projects. But There's three main things I wrote down on my little notepad. The first one is getting dialed in on financial choices this month especially. I mean, we're only 11 days in, but I really just had a realization at the beginning of June of like, I got to do better. I mean, there's no other way to explain it other than I got to do better personally with my spending. I track my finances. I have it down to the penny. I know what I spend and I know what I spend on, but it's now actually like, all right, dummy, look at what you're spending and realize this is where you can cut. And it's only up to you whether or not you're able to get ahead and get yourself out of the financial hole that I currently find myself facing. Yeah, and my job is, it's interesting working in the industry I do. The freight industry as a freight broker, that's my job, is a freight broker. It's a very volatile industry. It's a lot of ups and downs, but the big thing that I've learned from my coworker, my friend, my boss, Max, is, I mean, there's an abundance of opportunity, which is, you know, a big mindset, but within any industry, especially ones that are very volatile, there's always going to be these ups and downs, but rather than depending on the market, everything is dependent upon relationships. I mean, that's just business in general. And when those markets are going up and down like this, if you have those stable relationships with people within that market, you can kind of stay at a steady pace like this while things are going and fluctuating so much. So I don't know, it's cool working next to someone like him. And he is Max, I'm talking about my boss and my coworker. I mean, I always say it's like he is, in my eyes, the definition of a professional in what he does and the industry he works in. Comes in every day and fires away and has systems built and things in place that allow him to be successful and continue scaling and building. So yeah, it's cool and it's inspiring to be around someone like that. And I don't know, I hope that, it's like anything in life, I get in my head about a lot of things often, and sometimes I become overconsumed by being in my head too much and overthinking and overanalyzing. But I just hope that my effort in that office is recognized and that, you know, they know that I'm trying my best, because I am trying my best. I do my best to show up every day and put forth my best foot forward and, you know, build the company to whatever we want it to be. The one thing, you know, like any job, there's pros and there's cons. The office environment, I like the guys I work with. I like what I do, but sitting in an office for 45 hours a week, I'm like, damn, this ain't it, brother. It's okay, but yeah, and I'm lucky. I'm very fortunate with my job that I'm able to, you know, be able to take an hour for lunch and be able to go on walks throughout the day when I get my work done and things like that. There's a lot of freedom and flexibility, which I'm super grateful for. But my job can really be done from my laptop, and furthermore, it can almost even be done from my phone. So, you know, and the thing is that I know it won't be forever sitting in that office, or sometimes I'm like, man, I'm still here in my hometown of Oakdale. It's just tough. But it's like any job. There's pros and there's cons, and it's like, if the worst thing is that we sit in an office and, you know, I'm here in Oakdale, it's like, that's not really that bad. You know, the opportunity to make good money is there. I'm around, you know, people that think differently among people my age. Yeah, it's a good opportunity and I'm grateful to be there. And yeah, grateful for the opportunities that are going to continue to come with that. And especially financially, as the more that I stay disciplined on my financials, the more money that I can make with that job and the more money I can then put into these businesses. It's still going to take quite some time to get out of the hole that I'm in. But once I am and able to really begin investing into these projects and have money to do that, I mean, things are just going to get bigger and better. So that's exciting too. The last thing I'll say, because we sitting at 19 minutes, I am training for a marathon, which is very exciting. I haven't really said anything other than to like close friends and stuff, nothing on social media. I've never ran a race in my life before. I've been training for about 3 months now. This is my 4th month training. Up to this point, I had never ran more than 6 miles, and I think I ran 6 miles once my freshman year of college, and before that I've maybe ran 3 miles or like a 5K 10 times or less in my entire life. Within the last month I've ran 3 half marathons just on my own doing training, and training's gonna ramp up here in the next couple months. My marathon is October 6th. I'm doing it here in Minneapolis, the Twin Cities Marathon. Yeah, it's gonna be, I'm super excited. It's one of those things in my life where it's like, it's a super big, far-reaching goal, which I like to do, and those that know me personally know that that's just kind of who I am. I'm kind of crazy and nuts, and I set all these crazy big goals, but then I go out and do them, and you know, I prove to myself and I prove to those around me that any of us are possible of, you know, creating any reality that we want for ourselves, and anything that we set our minds to is 100% possible for us to do. If I can run a marathon, I mean, anyone can do anything, I swear. So with that though, I plan to do a fundraiser for my organization, Walk for a Child. That's kind of my thought and plan for July and August, is to kind of get things really in place so I can be really effective with that fundraiser and use the leverage of whatever it is that I can create from training for a marathon, creating content around a marathon, to then drive that traffic into raising money. I'm not thinking anything crazy, just a couple $1,000s for the program itself, so that whenever we do the next Walk for a Child event, money can be there to provide for program cost and things like that. I don't really foresee Walk for a Child necessarily being a non-profit per se. I don't really even know what it is. It'll develop into whatever it needs to be into the future, but it doesn't hurt for the organization to have some money to be able to create the opportunities and experiences like we did in January, which you'll see. So more news to come on my marathon. It's gonna be super exciting. It's gonna be a big challenge, but the biggest thing is once I accomplish that, then it just begs the question, if I can accomplish that, what can I accomplish in MNATEE Media? What can I accomplish in MNATEE Music? What can I accomplish in my personal life, in my professional life, whatever it is? If I can do that, man, I can do anything. So really looking forward to that. And yeah, I mean, to recap, everything starts tomorrow. June 12th, 2024 is a big day, the biggest day. Yeah, I'm excited to get these videos rolling. Like I said, Wednesdays at 3 p.m., Sundays at 10 a.m. Central Time. Videos will be releasing. They'll be on my YouTube. Come check out the work that I've been doing in Sierra Leone, the community that I'm building, and, you know, maybe in the future, some of you that are watching can join in these excursions, these programs, and be more of a part of this community that I'm looking to build. So yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching. It's nice to check in. Hope to do some more of these. It feels good to do it and get back to kind of just reflecting and sharing my thoughts and providing updates for the community and for myself. So with that being said, I will see you in the first video of the new YouTube series showcasing Sierra Leone and Liberia from January of 2024, and the third ever Walk for a Child event, walking 180 miles from Monrovia, Liberia, all the way to Bo, with the mission of raising awareness about mental health and sexual violence in Sierra Leone and across the world. I hope the series does a good job of telling that story, showcasing, you know, our time and our journey. It's gonna be awesome. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching.